What's the difference between INFp-A versus INFp-T? INFPs, also known as the mediators, are the typical introverts who are quiet and private about their lives. But among the many introverts in the MBTI personality types, they are made unique by their endless series of idealistic possibilities waiting to be realized. They are also known to always try to get along with others and seek harmony in places and communities they belong to. However, did you know that the way they do this actually depends on what type of INFp they are? The way they approach relationships and life in general is determined by knowing whether they are assertive mediators, INFp-A, or turbulent mediators, INFp-T. For today's inspiration calling video, let us help you go through the differences of both INFPs. But before we even get there, help us grow our community by subscribing to our channel. This is a safe space to learn more about you, your personality, and anything involving psychology. Please don't forget to click the notification bell too so we can notify you whenever we upload new content. If you're done with that, let's get straight into the video. In order to get a better grasp at their differences, let us define the terms assertive and turbulent first. In both social and professional settings, assertive personalities can be identified by their greater assurance and self-assurance. Contrarily, turbulent people, who are typically seen as having thinner skin, are less willing to put themselves out there, because they can be worried about being judged or upset by others. INFp-T personalities on themselves and others. When you look at them as a group, you can see how INFPs have the habit of encouraging others first before they even encourage and boost themselves up. However, when we look closely at it, we can also observe that one type of INFP isn't only willing to put others first but are also extremely hard on themselves. These are turbulent mediators. In fact, only 40% of INFp-T people have reported to be comfortable with themselves and their identity. This is extremely small compared to the 85% of assertive mediators who reported the same. Due to this, you'll also see a lot of INFp-T people expressing dissatisfaction with themselves. To cope with it, they develop a strong idealistic filter to assess where and how they need to improve. This detects what they see as flaws and pushes them to work even harder than they already are. However, idealism is a high bar to meet. Turbulent mediators are more likely to overextend themselves and become stressed out. They are likely to be hard on themselves if they don't achieve their unrelenting, and perhaps irrational, goals. Any turbulent person can benefit from self-criticism. However, these personalities' sensitivity and imaginative faculties may amplify the harm done by negative self-talk. Even the simplest error could appear to be more serious than it really is. They are more likely to believe that they are flawed when they make a mistake. Laziness. As opposed to 66% of assertive mediators, 85% of turbulent mediators describe themselves as being lazy. For instance, turbulent mediators are more prone to call themselves lazy than assertive mediators, but a neutral evaluation may show that this is not totally true. In general, turbulent people put forth a lot of effort to make up for any perceived weaknesses, all other things being equal. Usually, the term lazy doesn't apply. Their low opinion of their work ethic is more likely the outcome of their pessimistic perspective than it is an empirical fact. Perception on mistakes. A mistake is more likely to be viewed as a one-time accident or simple carelessness by assertive mediators, who tend to think that everyone makes mistakes every now and again. Nevertheless, it's unlikely that they'll give it much mental room. These temperaments usually treat their flaws the same way. Typically, they would rather spend their time considering ideas that are favorable. The idealistic and sympathetic nature of assertive mediators is unaffected. Simply put, they have a propensity to see everything through a more positive lens, including their care for others and other things. Handling stress. Approximately 87% of assertive mediators, compared to 48% of turbulent mediators, report feeling confident to handle challenges encountered on a daily basis. Assertive mediators are able to expend a lot of energy on pursuing their humanistic objectives, because they are motivated by optimism and self-assurance. These personalities are typically adept at creating optimism and encouragement. However, it can be easy to gloss over aspects that won't work if you have a practice of giving everything a positive evaluation. The things that people dismiss rarely receive any attention. Assertive mediators run the risk of asking too little, while turbulent mediators run the risk of hiding difficulties behind the appearance that everything is well. Taking risks. The feeling personality trait is used by mediators to make decisions. They choose for a perspective that prioritizes compassion and understanding for others. But the results of our study clearly distinguish between assertive and turbulent mediators, in terms of how they deal with their emotions and interact with others. Emotional levels. Compared to 28% of assertive mediators, 63% of turbulent mediators say they cry, frequently to very often. In contrast to their assertive counterparts, turbulent mediators tend to experience outwardly expressed emotions more frequently. It might not seem like a good thing to cry more than other people at first. However, anyone who wants to learn may learn from any situation, and most mediators are eager life students. In order to relate to others' sentiments, it can be helpful to be aware of emotional expressiveness. Knowing something faster can be achieved through experience. It may be easier to listen sympathetically if you have had comparable difficulties. Feeling regret. 90% of turbulent mediators, as opposed to 56% of assertive mediators, claim to experience remorse frequently. Arrogance is a stigmatized trait that frequently applies to assertive personalities, notably assertive mediators. Self-importance isn't really a trait that all assertive individuals share. When compared to their fervent turbulent peers, they occasionally may appear less invested. They experience less regrets in life and are less prone to feel bad or apologize for their actions. Given that assertive mediators exhibit more subdued behavior, this air of arrogance is probably relative. They may appear modest when viewed in the context of the rest of humanity, but when compared to turbulent mediators, they may appear downright brazen. How they behave in work. Compared to 51% of assertive mediators, 76% of turbulent mediators believe that their personality is very different from how they exhibit it at work. Assertive mediators tend to portray themselves more authentically. They have no qualms about being who they truly are. Their confidence makes it less important for them to base their decisions and outlook on other people's opinions. These personalities may have a stronger propensity to behave autonomously since they are less prone to yield to peer pressure. Because of their independence, assertive mediators may be able to function without being constrained by the burdens that others may try to add. When independence is taken too far, it becomes a problem. At vital moments, they could forget to solicit or accept criticism and guidance from others. According to poll findings that take into account all personality types, assertive mediators are more reluctant to ask for assistance even when they need it than the typical individual. How they rely on others. Compared to 36% of turbulent mediators, 61% of assertive mediators find it simple to make significant judgments, without seeking advice from anybody first. Turbulent mediators are more highly influenced by opinions. Concern for other people's opinions is a characteristic of most turbulent personality types. But turbulent mediators might be more acutely aware of this worry. When you put together their turbulence, the sensitivity that is a hallmark of their type, and their fluctuating interests, the result is that they are always checking in with other people. They frequently ask the opinions of others close to them in an effort to assuage or confirm their nagging misgivings. Turbulent mediators naturally turn to others for support and feedback since they are people-focused folks with lingering uncertainty. These personalities are also more likely to pay attention when individuals speak since they appreciate opinions. Both types of mediators believe they are good listeners, but turbulent mediators are more likely to do so since they value other people's perspectives. To wrap things up, let us go through the main differences of both INFp-T and INFp-A. Turbulent mediators are more idealistic in putting their efforts compared to their assertive counterparts. However, this can also make INFp-T personalities very hard on themselves. This is totally in contrast to assertive mediators who find it easier to reach humanistic goals and foster hope and encouragement through positive impulses. Even though turbulent mediators experience negative emotions much more intensely than assertive mediators, this can help them develop better empathy. Regarding feedback, assertive mediators are less impacted by other people's ideas, which might help them be more autonomous but also make them less likely to pay attention to insightful comments and perspectives. On the other side, turbulent mediators may be better listeners and team players due to their high esteem for other people's opinions, even if in an introverted style. Even if they belong under the same personality type, there are still differences between them. How they navigate through the world is totally different depending on whether they are turbulent or assertive. Regardless, both of them have unique characteristics and traits that no one else can offer. No one is better than the other. That's it for today's video. You can leave any of your questions, suggestions, or reactions in the comments section below. We'd love to hear from you. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can get notified whenever a new video is up. Until next time. Thank you for watching.